Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Quality Award Program. My name is Ralph Peterson, and if you are new to the Quality Award Program through AHCA NCAL, the American Healthcare Association, and the National Center for Assisted Living, then this video is for you. I'm going to be walking you through, showing you an overview of the Bronze Quality Award. I'm going to show you all the parts of it, show you what to look for, what to expect, and give you a general rundown of the entire thing. However, before I get started, just want you to know that there are two different Bronze Quality Award applications put out by AHCA and NCAL. One is for AHCA, i.e. the nursing home side or the IDDD side of long-term care. And then there is a separate application for assisted living specifically. This video is specifically addressing the nursing home IDDD side of the Quality Award application. Now, you will not find a separate video where I go over the assisted living application in its own video as an overview, simply because the applications are nearly identical. There's really only a couple of questions, very nuanced questions, that are different between the SNF side or the AHCA side of the application and the NCAL side, the assisted living side. And the format is the same, the structure is the same, just a couple of questions are different. So don't worry about that. If you're doing it as an AL or a SNF, this application overview is for you. All right, let's get into it. Here we go. This is the 2026 AHCA NCAL National Quality Award application. This is such a great application. It's such a great program. This was published in 2025. That's the first thing I would note, is just make sure that you're always using the most current, up-to-date Quality Award application, because the questions change all the time, or every 2 years. Generally, they change, but don't leave anything to chance. Make sure that you are reading the most up-to-date application. Jot down this email address, qualityaward@ahca.org. They are super great at responding to all of your questions. This is the main email address for the Quality Award program. Don't be afraid to reach out to them with any of your questions. The first thing it's going to say is make sure that you read the entire application. You don't have to. Sit back. I'm going to read it for you. The Quality Award program is based on the Malcolm Baldrige Performance Excellence Program. What that means in a nutshell is just focusing on this word excellence. This is a program designed to highlight and inspire organizations like yours to pursue and achieve excellence in all of our operations. It is such an amazing program. And if you have not done so already, I would invite you to consider watching the video I did on the history of the Malcolm Baldrige Quality Award program. They're calling it the Baldrige program here, but it's actually called the Malcolm Baldrige Quality Award program. It's named after a guy named Malcolm Baldrige. His history, his story with President Reagan, the 1970s and the 80s and the 90s. I mean, it's just such a great program. Make sure you go check that video out. I'll put a link to it below in the comments. It's a great, great thing. Great history of the Quality Award program. Read this packet. I'm going to read it for you. You jotted down the email address. Okay, so first, we're going to look at the process here with some important dates. Now, mind you, it is 2026. But I'm going over this, and so these dates are not applicable. They're not set in stone for 2026 cycle. But generally speaking, they're going to be around the same, so we can use them as a pretty good guideline. The packet will be available, updated July 2026, which is when the new application will be available. That'll take care of any usually small changes, if there are any. The intent to apply and the application process opens in August. Again, that will be the same for 2026. That will be for 2026 August. Two things about that. One, the intent to apply is you're going to reach out and say to AHCA, hey, we are filling out the bronze application and we intend to apply. That's going to open up in August, as well as the application process, simply meaning the Quality Award portal, which is where you type your answers into the Quality Award portal. That will also open in August. So you will literally be able to start submitting applications as of August this year, 2026. The intent to apply deadline is November. It's usually the second Thursday of November, or at least halfway, midway into November is when, by 8 p.m. is when the intent to apply process is going to close. Now, two things about the intent to apply. First and foremost, the reason they're asking you to fill out an intent to apply is because AHCA relies an awful lot on volunteers. And they need to know, best guess, how many volunteers are they going to need? And that is going to be directly related to, well, how many applications do we think we're going to get? So they incentivize applicants with this intent to apply process. And this incentivization is super important or super helpful, really great. So what it is, it's going to cost you $75 to submit an intent to apply. And if you do that, you save hundreds of dollars on your application. So it's a win-win. AHCA gets a heads up, hey, this is how many applications you can expect. And for the applicant, we get, hey, if you let us know you're going to submit, your intention is to submit an application, we will discount the application price. I say, make sure you fill out that intent to apply. Any money we can save in long-term care. What are we talking about, right? The application fee and deadline is due on the 22nd. Well, it will be the 20th. We already know what this date's going to be. It's going to be January 23rd, 2027. Look at that. We're already talking about 2027. January 23rd. It's always the Thursday, always the third Thursday of the month of January, always 8 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. The application and fee are due. Just note you are going to need a credit card when you submit that fee. Also, here's something that's very helpful, hopefully. I don't know if you've experienced this, but if anytime there's a deadline and I'm last minute on my deadline, I have a payment problem. I have a credit card problem. I have the CV is not right. The card expired. The expiration is whatever, right? Like every time I wait last minute to do something, I run into a glitch. So here's something to consider. You can actually pay the entire fee, the entire credit card fee before you submit the application. That means you do the intent to apply. Let's say you do the intent to apply in August. You can go ahead right after you do the intent to apply and just pay for the whole application right then, right? It gives you the discount. You can just pay for the application. That way, all you have to do is worry about submitting the application. You don't have to worry about payment. I say that's a smart thing to do, especially if you're like me and have these last minute issues that come up every time I'm under a gun. When I'm not under a time constraint, no issues arrive. As soon as a time constraint comes in, the credit card doesn't work, the expiration's wrong, The award notification is always at the end of May. This year it'll be May 2026. Next year it'll be end of May 2027. The year after that it'll be the end of May 2028. Just so you know, you can always expect, are you going to move forward? Are you not going to move forward? That notification will come on the end of May. Incidentally, I know we're maybe putting it a little bit we're putting the cart before the horse here, but end of May is also when you fill out the gold application. See that I already have you going for gold. When you fill out the gold application, you also get notification at the end of May if you're going to be going for if you're going to be getting a site visit. So that end of May date is not only relevant for the Bronze Quality Award, but it's also relevant for the Gold. Okay, let's move on. Application policies and processes. Number one, you do have to be a member in good standing with AHCA NCAL. And number two, you have to be a single standing center. That doesn't mean that you can't be part of an organization. You can be, but the organization cannot apply for a quality award. The organization, multiple center organizations, do not qualify for a quality award. Each individual center, whether it's the assisted living center or the nursing home center, each one individually is the one applying for a quality award. They on their own are eligible for the quality award. Organizations that have multiple nursing homes or assisted livings, they in themselves can't apply on behalf. In other words, a company with 5 nursing homes can't go, I'm going to put an application in for my 5 nursing homes. No, each nursing home or each assisted living will have to apply on their own. There are an awful lot of regulations or requirements. There's survey requirements. There's deficiency requirements, survey score. Notice the word or, it's not and. You either have to have a one survey cycle score equal to or below 85, or at least 3 stars on the survey. On your 5-star program, Of course, that does not count for assisted living or IDDD, neither of which, are regulated or are impacted by the 5-star program. There are survey requirements regarding, there are special requirements for IDD and DD centers, and especially also with assisted living centers. Now, here's where it gets juicy. Originality. Holy moly. What that means is do not copy anybody else's work. I am a consultant, and I work with a lot of organizations helping them figure out what exactly it is, how to articulate what you do in the center and make it make sense so it answers the criteria on the paper. And I got to tell you, a lot of times I get asked, hey, what would you say? What would you say? And I can't tell you what I would say. It needs to be from your point of view. It needs to be with your words. Please, 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 with peace and love, make sure you are not copying anybody's. I have a whole video series that breaks down the criteria for each one of the questions, and so does AHCA. And I know that it can be tempting. When you're watching the video series from AHCA or watching my video series, you go, oh, the way that he said it or the way that they said it, I'm just going to write down what they say. Please don't do that. Don't say it the way I say it. Don't say it the way they say it. They take this stuff very seriously, as they should. It is called plagiarism. It is wrong. And they do have the whole little, they use AI too. All right, just so you know. They're using AI to make sure that the application you submit is in your words and nobody else's. And unfortunately, there is a penalty. It looks like it will be ineligible to apply for the following year. That means it's a 2-year penalty. The year that you're applying, no longer eligible. The following year, not eligible. That's 2 award cycle years you're not able to apply. Not good. There are technical requirements that require you to write. It has to be 1-inch actually, I was going to say 1-inch margins. That's me talking old school. That's how long I've been doing this. When I first started doing the Quality Award application, we actually had to submit this as a PDF. Well, not anymore. Now it is with the Quality Award portal. So you don't have to worry about font. You don't have to worry about margins, but you do have to worry about prose. Prose. This is the key word here, meaning all the criteria responses have to be written in sentence form. There are 2 exceptions. Exception number 1 is when you are talking about your customer base, and exception number 2 is when you are talking about your workforce. Actually, I have them backwards. It's when you're talking about your workforce first and then your customer base second. You'll see in the Quality Award portal, it'll give you a table to fill out. And in that table, you can use lists. Otherwise, everything has to be written in sentence form, i.e. prose. Keep that in mind. Confidentiality, there's a renewal process. Okay. Deadline, make sure you do not want to get the email that says 5 minutes after 8 p.m. on the Thursday that this application is due. If you submit your application 1 minute past 8 p.m., you will get a nice email that says, we're sorry. But in order to make it fair for all applicants, we cannot accept your application as it did not meet the deadline policy. You don't want that email. Trust me, peace and love. You don't want that email. I've seen that email so many times. Here's the deadlines and the fees. $75 to put that intent to apply. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. $425 if you add the intent to apply. $700 if you don't. I mean, what are we talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, put the intent to apply in. Make sure you get that in before November 14th. It'll be the 14th this year. It'll be the 14th, 2026. The intent to apply is not mandatory. Applicants who submit an intent to apply will pay the reduced fee. You should know there's no refunds. If you put in the intent to apply and you're like, well, I'm not going to apply this year for whatever reason, even if you become no longer qualified, there's no refund. So let's put that out of there. You do submit through the Quality Award portal. Okay, credit card is basically how they want to be paid, no other way. Application payment instructions. You can go over that at your leisure. All right, let's get into Okay, let's get right into the criteria. Now, the criteria is broken up into 5 separate sections, and they are listed as P1 and P2. So then it's P1, this is the P1, section P1, and this is question A1. Hello, everyone. Pardon the quick interruption. I just wanted to come on here really quick and say thank you. Thank you for watching Inside the Quality Awards with me. I love this program so much. I love teaching it. I love talking to people about it. I love engaging people like you who are on the Quality Award journey. And that is why I wanted to make sure that you have my direct cell phone number. This is my actual cell phone number. So please use it to reach out to me anytime with any questions or comments or anything that you have. Text me, actually call me, anything. I'm available for you. I want to help you win a quality award. All right, back to the video. This is question P1A2, P1A3, and so on. And then it's P1B. So now this is P1B1, P1B2, P1B3. Then we leave P1, and now we're going to go to P2. Here is P2. P2A1, P2A2, P2A3, P2B1, P2B2, and then it gets into P2B or P2C1, P2C2, P2C3. Just so you know the structure of it, the labeling of it. You're like, what is P1? It's just a section. It starts with an overview of your organization's description. Keep in mind that the Quality Award, the Bronze Quality Award application, is very much in line with what we would consider like a facility assessment form. It's actually, I would say it's a combination of two things, a facility assessment form and your marketing brochure. That's an important thing to talk about here because, or just to identify here, the Quality Award program at the bronze, the silver, and the gold is a brag. It is your chance to shine. It is your chance to tell the world how amazing your center is, all the amazing work that you do, the things that you're really great at, and all your staffing accomplishments and your customer base and all the things that really, really make you stand out and become award worthy. You are literally applying for one of the most prestigious quality awards in the long-term care, senior care, assisted living space in the country. And so it's a big, big deal. And so just keep in mind, it's more like a combination, a blending of your best marketing efforts and a facility assessment form. So that's why we start with the organizational description. We're not in your home. We're not going to call. We're not going to Google your home. We're not going to stop by. So we want you to tell us everything you can positive about your home. It goes through the organizational profile. We want to know about your mission and your vision and what your key measures are, and tell us about your workforce and your major assets and regulatory requirements, your core competencies. Oh my God, like what are you best at? Like, what are you known for? It's got to be some amazing stuff, I imagine, that you're doing. Then we want to talk about your organizational relationships. We want to know who your customers are. We want to know who your main suppliers and vendors are. We want to know about your organization. Like, is it a top-down? Is it a bottom-up? Do you have corporate support? Are you a standalone center? We just want to know about that organizational environment you're working in. And then we want to talk about your organizational situation. Like, who are you competing with? What is your competitive environment like? And what kind of data sources do you use? And we also want to know about your strategic context. Like, what are your challenges? Like, what are your challenges that you're facing out in the marketplace? And what's keeping you up at night? And then what are your advantages? Like, what are kind of opportunities out there exist for you and your team? And of course, IDDD residential service providers also have other considerations that they may want to take into account. Then we get into arguably, the most important section of the Bronze Quality Award. It is the Performance Improvement System. Question P2C1, what is your performance improvement question? This is, by the way, the first and only how question in the Bronze Quality Award application. The reason I'm even bringing that up is maybe this is a good chance to bring up the 3 types of questions. There's only 3 types of questions in the entire application. There is a who question, there are what questions, and there are how questions. Now, look at it like this. In the bronze application, there's only one who question, and that is, who are your customers? There are 32 what questions. That is, what do you do? What services do you offer? What is your mission? What is your vision? What do your staff look like? What are your customers? What do your customers want? And then there is only at the bronze, this is the important distinction. At the bronze, there is only one how question. And it's this question right here. It's how, this is the how. How, we want you to describe your performance improvement process. What we're asking you is, how do you solve a problem? That's really the question. It's a how question. And this how means process. So what process? And by process, we're looking for we should be able to go step 1, step 2, step 3. Like, we should be able to number the steps you take in order to solve a problem. That's the structure of a how question. The reason that this is important to note that there's only 3 different types of questions in the Bronze Quality Award is because there's only 3 types of questions in the bronze, the silver, and the gold. And they are the same 3 types of questions. Who, what, how. But here's the big thing. Even though, let me change the color of my pen. Even though there's only one how question in the Bronze Quality Award, when you get to the silver, there are 112 how questions. And when you get to the gold, there are 256 how questions. Yeah, that's right, 256. So if you think about it, there's still, at the bronze, silver, and gold level, there still remains only one who question. Who are your customers? The what questions expand a little bit. I think they get as high as 39. I think all in, you can expect 39 what questions at the silver and gold level. However, the how questions explode because it's all about processes. The entire application after the bronze application, at the silver and the gold level, all about processes. So process. Of course, if you are an ID or a DD center, your results are going to be a little different. The expectation of your results are going to be different from a nursing home and from an assisted living. A nursing home, we're expecting a clinical result. In a ID, DD, or even a assisted living center, we're going to be looking for process results. Then there is a special P2C 3 question specifically for IDDD, residential homes only. This is not for nursing homes. If you're a nursing home, you would simply say NA. We'll get into all that later. Let's continue on with the overview here. This is the end of the questions. Now, before I get into the glossary, let me go backwards and share with you that each section of the Quality Award has a notes section. Here is the notes section. And now this is very important. It can be very helpful. The notes are designed to provide context to some of the questions. There isn't a note for every single question. As you can see, there's a note for P, there's a note for P1A1, P1A1, P1A7, P1A7, PB1. The reason is because they are trying to address common questions that applicants have regarding some of the questions. So make sure that you're reading through the notes as you're filling out your application, especially if you're having a little bit of a trouble understanding what they're asking in the criteria. But each section has their own little note section. Pay close attention to these notes. It'll be really, really helpful. Okay. Now we have the glossary of key terms. Now, this is the definitions where you're going to find all the key terms. But let me just back up and show you. Anytime you see a word that is in all capital letters, processes, data, healthcare results, key, comparative, all of these words, residents, patients, customers, organizational performance. Every word that you see in the application that is all capitalization, you're going to find in the glossary. So that's really like the indicator. Hey, by the way, This is what we mean by action plans. Hey, by the way, this is what we mean by anecdotal. Or, by the way, this is what we mean by who is a customer. What is a core competency? This key glossary is super helpful, and it should answer nearly all of your questions. And that, of course, is the end of the application. And now it just talks about, again, going to watching all the videos for the Bronze Quality Award. It has a lot of resources. AHCA provides a lot of resources. Get everything done. Pro tip, make sure that you're not writing this alone. Involve everybody in your center. Involve your leadership team. Make sure you put in your intent to reply. Write your application. Submit your application. Make sure you get that payment in, that payment method in. You can do it beforehand. I hope you found this helpful. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel, turning on the notification bell, liking the videos that you like, commenting, sharing with your friends and your colleagues. And of course, if you need any one-on-one time with me, you know where to find me.